Yo, what's good? On today's video, I got how to make an RNG game. This is part two. Part one did really well, so I heard you guys wanted part two. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Okay, so um, we got a lot to do. So I fixed a bug. Shout out to Skinny Bracka, is one of my helpers on my Discord server. And stuff, he brought this bug to my attention. There was a bug where pretty much if you tried to, let's say you tried to roll again, like while a roll was like still in progress, it would glitch out and then the UI wouldn't like the like roll frame wouldn't be visible anymore. So I fixed that. I added unit images, so every unit now has its own image and stuff. More more like Slime RNG, and then I also added a backpack system where you can see all the units you have, and an equip system, so you can now equip units, see how much total damage they can do, added unit damage and stuff like that, and then we'll move on to probably combat and stuff in the next part and stuff. Yeah. Okay. So before we get into the coding, we got two things to do. The second thing is UI. The first thing is this unit images folder. Okay. So here's what you're gonna do, right? Find replicated storage, hit that plus icon. You're going to enter the folder. You're going to want to name that folder unit images. As you guys probably guessed, this is where the images are going to be stored for your units are going to be, right? So hit the plus icon, then you're just going to type image. You're just going to type image label. I mean, you could use a button as well, but it's just not really a point. In all honesty, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but the point is just do it how I did it. So enter the image label, right? Now, here's what you're going to do. Let me pull up the script real quick. So very important, what you want to do is you want to make sure the names match. You guys see how I have Buggy here, Buggy, Earthy, Earthy, Lucky, Lucky, etc., etc., right? So it is very important and it is case sensitive, so make sure the names are spelled the exact same. Don't have a lowercase b here and then a uppercase b here. Like, names have to be spelled exactly as are. If not, it's not going to work properly. So you're just going to have all your images and stuff like that. I assume you guys know how to get images and stuff. I literally just went on the internet and just searched up like free icons, and I'm just using like placeholder images. So literally, like, once you name the image, here's what you're gonna do, right? Very important. You're gonna just scroll down, find where it says where is it? Find where it says image, right? You're gonna click this. Right, these are just my images that I've used. You're gonna do that, and then you're gonna click add image, choose file, and then you're just gonna choose the file from your computer. So just make sure you have your images downloaded and stuff. And yeah, say if you guys don't really care about finding images now, you can just have placeholders. Like, if you just don't set the image, it'll just be a placeholder image and stuff. But yeah, so make sure your images are stored in that folder. And yeah, okay. Now we're gonna move on to the UI. I don't know if I've said this before. I don't know if I've stated this before, but I am not a UI designer, so the UI is gonna look decent. I mean, I'm trying my best. But anyway, so let's get straight to it. Let's get straight into it. Okay. So, we're making a backpack system. So just like we have our roll button, we need our backpack button, right? So let's go on ahead. We can really just duplicate this. So Control plus D, or right click and then press duplicate. You can just right click and duplicate. So I'm going to drag this over to the left, right? Remember, I'm modeling this after Slime RNG. So you can call this backpack text button, right? And then we are going to update the text. We're going to say backpack, right? Then I'm going to go up, or actually, no, sorry. We're going to go to the gradient. I'm going to change this to like a brownish color. Now, so here's the thing. Fonts and colors and stuff, that doesn't matter. Like, your UI does not have to look like mine, right? I'm just doing this like because we need UI obviously for the tutorial, but your UI can look however you want it to be. All that matters for the UI is that you have like the names and like everything is parented correctly. It's in like the correct order and everything. That's all that matters. Like how we have the roll frame and then these frames are inside of this frame, etc., etc. That's all that matters. You can do whatever colors. If you don't want to do corners, gradient, stroke, you don't have to do any of that and stuff. I'm just trying to make it look a little nicer. But yeah, so I'm just gonna make this brown. I don't know why I chose brown, but I mean, it is what it is. Um, oh damn, I really might be colorblind. That's not brown. That's like orange. Again, it is what it is. Okay, so we got this nice little orange going right here. No, I swear I'm not sure. I feel like that's brown, but I'm gonna set the background color because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it changes. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little. I'm gonna just like a little darker, kind of like that and stuff. I feel like it looks nice. Kind of a little dark thing we got going on here. So So there we go. We got our backpack button, right? Then for our next thing, we're going to make a small little edit to the unit frame and stuff. So we're gonna open the roll frame, then go to our unit frame. Since remember how I said we now have a image and stuff, we're now gonna display the image. So we need to add that. I recommend making these both visible and stuff. If you don't know how to select multiple things at once, click one, hold the control keybind, and then select everything. Or you could just right click, hierarchy, select children, either one doesn't matter, or just do it individually, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the background transparency to 0.5. This is simply so that like we can see the elements. Oh, and also make sure you set this to visible. We're gonna change that. We just need it visible right now because we're editing the UI. But yeah, so I'm just gonna move this over because I want them to be kind of aligned and stuff. So I'm gonna insert my image thing, and then I'm just gonna update my stuff. So inside the unit frame, I'm gonna insert a image label. This is going to be the unit image label. So unit image label, then I'm just going to set these properties real quick. Again, your size and positioning can be very different than mine. It doesn't have to be exact or anything of the sorts. 0.16, comma 0, comma 0.32, comma 0. I'm just going to put it there. As for the size, we'll do 100 by 7. I don't think, yeah, okay, there we go. 100 by 70. For rarity, we have 0.293, comma 0, comma negative 0.03, comma 0 for the position. Then the size, I don't think I changed the size, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the same. 0.16. Yep, okay, cool. Yep, so as you guys can see, we have it. The whole point is that, we want the image labels to be like in the middle and stuff, right? And then we have the rarity at the top and then the name right here, right? So we literally just added that, not really removing anything, just moving the things around and stuff. And then yeah, we're done. Okay, cool. So now we can go ahead and set this stuff back to being or actually, never mind. We actually don't need to make this. I don't even know why I set the background transparency because yeah, we don't even need to do that. Okay, yeah, never mind. Okay, so close everything out, set your roll frame, make it no longer visible, right? And then from here, we can now start making our new UI. So our backpack frame, there's a lot to add here. So core UI plus icon insert a frame, right? So we're gonna call this our backpack frame. Cool, right? We're gonna drag this to the middle. This is gonna be pretty big. So we're gonna stretch this probably to like 500, and then drop this down by like 400 probably. Yeah, yep, this looks perfect. Then I'm just gonna um drop down in the middle. I'm probably yeah okay. I'm gonna insert a UI corner into it, right? Give it some nice round edges. We're gonna give it also gonna do a UI. Where is it? Where is the thing? The thing. Oh, UI stroke. Okay. Then I'm just gonna make it a nice little border, and then I'm gonna set the thickness to be 2. Then we'll do a UI gradient. Where is that? Oh, that's not the right thing. UI gradient. Cool. And then from here, I'm just gonna make this like a nice little. I'm just gonna make this like a dark gray kind of thing. So something like kind of like yeah, something kind of like that, but maybe make this like a little darker, so like a contrast. Yeah, something like that. I feel like that's mad dark, but honestly, that's what it is. Okay. So from there, what we're gonna do is we're going to, um, I guess I'll just go down the list. Yeah, I'll go down the list. Okay, so we're gonna first set up our, no, I wanna, yeah, okay, let's go down the list. So we're gonna first set up our equipped units frame, right? So inside of the backpack frame, you're gonna insert another frame. You're gonna put this kind of here, right? It's kind of hard to visualize because I don't have the other stuff I need because we're gonna make that after, but we're gonna make this is not gonna be that big. So this is gonna be like it's gonna be like I think like 100 by 80, right? Again, your sizing does not have to match mine. This is just what I'm going for. Your sizing does not have to match mine. Feel free to do as you please. This is gonna be in the middle. We're gonna just probably do 200. Yeah, because we need space for two. There's gonna be two images because I'm doing it like I said. I'm doing it like Slime RNG where you can have a maximum of 2 units equipped at a time, right? So you can go ahead and name this equipped units frame, right? And then you can go ahead and set the background transparency to 1. We're going to insert a UI grid layout so it automatically sizes and sets the positions of our elements. So cell padding will remain the same. For size, we're gonna do 70 by 70. So just flat 70, and then we're done with the equipped units frame. Moving on, the next thing is a separator frame. This is just literally, it's just as the name implies, it's just to separate the elements. So this is right here. So then I'll go like right here, and then I'll just do like 100 or yeah, there we go. And then we could just set this like 500. Yep, there we go. I'm just gonna, yep. And then should be, yep, right under. Cool. I'm going to insert a UI corner into this. Then I'm also gonna insert a gradient into it as well. And probably just make this just kind of like a faded gray, but not too dark. So something like that, and then boom, cool. I think that's, yeah, okay. And then you could just name this just separator frame, to be honest. Separator frame. It's literally just it's just there to separate. Next, we have our unit info frame. So insert another frame. This is going to display the information about the units. Like when you know how when you hover over the unit, it'll say the name of the unit, how many of those units you have, and the rarity. So we're just gonna put this like on over to the side. I'm gonna do size probably like 150 maybe, or no, I'm gonna do 200. We'll do 200 by 250 probably. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, that's good. We're just gonna drag this to the side right here. Um, and then this is going to be our unit info frame. So unit info frame. Then I'm just gonna set the background transparency to be like a nice dark grayish color to kind of match what we got going on. And then inside of this, I'm gonna throw a UI stroke in there as well. So I'm just gonna give it a, so we're gonna do this, give it a border, thickness to be 2, something like that. Nice. Okay. So then we're gonna need 3 text labels for the unit amount, the name of the unit, and the rarity. So we'll insert a text label into the unit info frame. It'll be at the top. This will be our, well, let's do name first, of course. Unit name, text label, right? So what I'll do is I will scroll down, we'll do bold text, rich text, scale the text. You can clear out the default text. And then we'll do white text. Our text color will be white, text stroke color will be black, and text stroke transparency will be set to 0. And then from here, what we'll do is I'm gonna give it a, I think I might just give this I'll just give this a regular border actually. So we'll just do a black border and then, yep, something like that. And then what I'll do is I'm just gonna duplicate it. So again, Control plus D or just right click and then press duplicate. Then we're just gonna drag it down and then down again. Then I'll probably add another thing like damage or wait, yeah, like damage later on or something. I don't know. But yeah, so for now we'll just have name. So we'll just have name. Then for our second one, let's do the rarity. We'll do unit rarity text label. Then for the third one, we will do unit amount text label. So how many of these units do you have, right? And then we can just right click hierarchy, select children, and we can set the background transparency to be 1. Oh, it's missing the thing actually. Hold on. Yeah, I think I need to insert this. Yeah, I think I need to, here, hold on. I'm gonna copy this, paste this into it. Yeah, okay, I need that. Okay. So again, you guys don't have to do this. I'm just adding this and stuff. I'm just copying and pasting the UI stroke and stuff. There we go. So that it separates them. Cool. Okay, we are done with the unit info frame. Moving on to the next element, we have our actual units frame. So this is where your actual where you can actually view your units, like all of your units that you own and stuff. And you can also click them to equip. So we're gonna insert a scrolling frame, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and name this units frame, right? And then we're going to drag this is going to be under our separator. So like here, and then we'll just do probably 400 or maybe like 450. Or that's 460, like 480. Yeah, 40, I think or do 490 because it's like mad close. Okay, maybe 485. Okay, cool. Then I will do, again, your position and sizing does not have to be the same as mine. This is just what I'm doing. Okay. And then, because and make sure it is a scrolling frame. Since it's a scrolling frame, we don't need it to be that large. And then I'm just going to set the background color to be like a nice dark grayish color. Cool. And then it definitely needs a border. So let's give it a nice little border. So something like, yep, perfect. Cool. Okay, now inside the unit frame, you're going to insert a UI grid layout so that it automatically handles the sizing and positioning of all the elements inside of it. So 5 by 5, and then again, just 70 by 70 for the cell size. Okay, we're done with the units frame and stuff. Now we just have some more basic elements and stuff, basic UI stuff. So we need a close button, of course. So let's insert a text button. You can go ahead and name this close text button. I'll set the background color to be red. Size can be 50 by 50. We can scroll down, bold text, rich text, scale text, so the text to be in X. I'm gonna change the text color to be white. Text stroke color will be black, and text stroke transparency will be set to 0. I will also add a UI corner to make it round. And then from here, I'm just gonna, oh, and I'm also gonna add a UI stroke to give it a nice little black outline. So border, there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna drag it to be in the top right, and there we go. Now we have our close button. Very cool. Then moving on to our next thing, we have the backpack text label, which is literally just our header. It's just saying like, oh, this is the backpack. I'm just gonna put this in the top left, right? I'm probably gonna, okay, yeah, we'll do this. So I'm just gonna name this backpack text label. Then of course, bold text, rich text, scale text. Change the text to be backpack, right? I'm going to set the text color to be a kind of like a brighter, I guess a brighter gray and stuff. As for the text color, I'm gonna do a kind of light gray, kind of light grayish color. Then let's see how this looks. Yeah, okay, something like that. Cool. And then I'm also gonna add a UI corner into this to make it round. Okay, cool. And then I'm also gonna add a UI stroke because I want it to kind of like blend in with the thing. So like, because if I give it a border, maybe if I make it a little thicker, yeah, there we go. Cool. So there we go. We have our backpack text label. And then the last thing we need is our equipped units text label. Okay, cool. So insert another text label. And then you're going to drag this to be right here. It's going to be like in the middle, kind of, in like the top middle. You want it to be above your units, or sorry, your equipped units frame. So kind of, or I'm probably going to have to make this a little, yeah, smaller, like 35, yeah. So something like there, right? This is going to be the equipped units text table. This is going to say how many units you have currently equipped. I mean, you can see, but still, it's just going to give you the number, like, oh, you have this amount, and then like how many like you're allowed to. So by default, I'm going to set mine to 2. So I'm going to say my text 0 out of 2 units equipped, and then I'm just going to add a star to separate, and then 0 damage. So pretty much it's like you're just saying how many units you have equipped as well as the total amount of damage they can do. So we're just going to combine the 2 units, how much damage they can do, and then that's pretty much just how we get that. But yeah, so white text, text stroke color will be black. Text stroke transparency can be set to 0, and then we can go ahead and set the background transparency to 1. And then boom, we are finally done with the backpack frame. Okay, we're good to go. So of course, make sure the backpack frame by default is not visible. Now we can move on to the coding. Okay, so let's open up our core script, right? So if we go here at the top, we do need to make a couple changes. So obviously, you guys know we have the unit images folder now, so we need to create a variable for that. So let's go right here. We're going to call this unit images. We're going to say game, the replicated storage, wait for child, wrong thing, unit images. Now for our units folder, we are going to make a little change. Like I said, we're adding damage. So here's what you're going to do. You're just going to put a comma, just like we did before. And then just damage is equal to, and then just set it to whatever you want the damage to be. Obviously, the rarer the unit, the more damage it should do. So I'm just going to like just increment. So I'm just going with random numbers. Again, you guys can choose whatever numbers you want. Damage is 11. And then make sure you're adding that comma and everything, and then boom. And then of course too, you're probably wondering, are we going to make the same change on the server side as well? And the answer is yes. Yes, we are. We're also going to copy this over onto the server script once we get there. So okay, moving on here. So for the roll thing, this is the part where we fix the bug. What we're gonna do is oh, well, actually, first, before we do that, we actually need to add the image. So you know how before we were showing just the unit name and the rarity, we now need to show the image. So let's go right here. Before we play the sound, we're going to say CoreGUI.RollFrame.UnitFrame.UnitImageLabel.image is equal to find unit image. This is going to be a function that we're going to make in a little while. Random unit.name. So we're just going to pass it the name of the unit, and then it'll return the image ID we need. And then right now I know it's red and it's giving you this error, perfectly fine. We're going to create the function after this. I probably should have went in a different order to avoid this, but it's fine. So don't worry about that for now. Then you're going to scroll down. You're going to do the same thing. So just copy and paste this. So just Control C and then just Control V, paste this right here. Only difference is you're just going to change this to be result.name. That's the only difference here. You're just going to put result.name, right? And then, yeah. So then you're going to go right here at the end, press enter. Then you're going to say else if event type is equal to equip unit. So once it's been confirmed on the server side, we're then going to like update our UI. So we're gonna say unit is equal to arg1, right? Is equal to, I do have arg1. Okay, cool. We're gonna create the image button. So we're gonna say unit image button is equal to instance.new, and of course it'll be an image button. Unit image button dot name is equal to unit dot name dot quotation mark image button unit image button. Unit image button, we'll do background transparency first. Background transparency should be set to 1. Then unit image button dot image is equal to find unit image. Again, another function we're going to create. Well, not another one, but we're going to make this. So don't worry about it. Giving you the error now. Then we're just gonna say unit dot name. Then unit image button dot parent is equal to core GUI dot backup frame dot backpack, not backup. And then we're gonna say equipped. We're gonna say equipped units frame, right? Then we're going to update this part of the text. Or sorry, hold on. Let me make it visible. This part of the text table, right? Since we're equipping a unit, we need to update it to reflect how many units we have equipped, as well as the damage. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say core GUI dot backpack frame dot equipped units text label dot text is equal to player dot equipped amount. Oh, sorry, equipped unit amount. This is a value we're going to create on the server side when we get to the server script. Dot quotation marks. I'm just going to put /2. Again, by default, I'm going to have my max cap set at 2 by default. Then you can say equipped, and then space star space again. Then dot. Then you're just going to say player dot equipped units damage. Again, another value we're going to create on the server side to keep track of how much damage the total units do. That value, then dot quotation mark space DMG, short for damage in all caps, and then boom. So we're done with that. So we're done with that part, and then lastly, we're just going to set a function up so that we can unequip the units. So unit image button dot activated connect function close parentheses enter. You'll say core events fire server in quotation marks, or just say unequip unit, and then comma send over the specific unit, right? Very simple. Then you're going to skip an end. You're going to say else if event type. This is for unequipping units, so unequip unit, enter. We're going to fire it to the server. Once it's done on the server, it'll fire back to the client, and then we will again create a variable for the unit, arg1. Then we'll find the unit image button, so we will say unit image button should be core GUI dot backpack frame dot equipped units frame find first child unit unit dot name dot quotation marks image button, right? Then we will say if unit image button enter, then unit image button destroy. So if we found it, we'll destroy it since it's no longer equipped. And then the great thing is we can just copy and paste here. So just copy and paste this part, Control C, Control V, and stuff, so that we can update. Like, oh, okay, like we've unequipped the unit now. Okay, and then we are done updating the on-client event code, the remote event stuff for the client side. We can now get to making those functions I was telling you to not worry about and stuff at the moment. So let's move on to that. For our first function, we have view unit info. So that was what that frame to the left is for, to view the unit's info. We're going to get that. So we're going to say function view unit info. So in parentheses unit, we obviously need to know what unit we're looking for. Enter. So we need to calculate how many of those units you have. So unit amount is equal to 0 by default. We use a for loop. So we'll say for I comma v in I pairs player dot owned units, since you can own the same unit multiple times. So we'll do get children, right? Enter. And then we'll say if v dot name is equal to unit dot name, that means like, oh, you own whatever this unit is. Then we'll say unit amount plus equal 1, right? Because you own that. Then from there we'll skip the two ends, and then we will update the stuff. So we will say core GUI dot backpack frame dot unit info frame dot unit name text label dot text is equal to unit dot name, right? Then let's really just copy and paste to save ourselves some time. So just Control C, Control V, right? And then we're just going to change each one individually. So for this, we're gonna do the unit rarity and then I'm just gonna go here, rarity, go here, right? And then this last one we have the unit amount. Unit amount is of course going to be equal to at the top unit amount, right? Cool. We are done with that function. And then now let's move on to when the player opens the backpack. Let's move on to that function. So we're gonna say core GUI that backpack text button that activated connect function close parentheses enter. First we're going to clear out any of the current buttons in there so that we can make we can update all the units to make sure everything's updated. So we're going to say for I comma v in I pairs core GUI dot backpack frame dot units frame get children enter. You're going to say if v oh my bad, you're going to say if v is a image button enter, then v destroy. Then you're going to skip two ends, and then we're going to and then what we're going to do is we're going to use a for loop. We're going to say for I comma v in I pairs. You're going to just go player dot owned units get children close parentheses enter. Create a variable for the unit, so unit is equal to v, right? We need to first make sure that we don't want any duplicates, right? You don't want to have like say if you own more than one of a single unit, you don't want like multiple icons for the same unit, right? So we're just going to check to make sure that we don't already have a button for it. So if core GUI dot backpack frame dot units frame find first child unit dot name dot dot quotation mark image button. So if we find it, then that means we can skip this. So continue. It means it'll skip to the next unit. But if not, then we need to create it. So let's create the unit image button. We can actually save ourselves some time. The greatest thing about programming is copying and pasting. Go back. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to this part of the equip unit code, copy this part where we create the unit image button, Control C, copy that, go right here, paste it, right? Everything is the same. Find image unit, unit.name, and yeah, the only difference is you want to change this to units frame. Since this unit isn't equipped, it's just, what you have in the inventory. Then we're going to set up two functions. We're going to say unit image button dot mouse enter. That means you want to see information about the unit. So connect function, close parentheses, enter. And then we will call the view unit info and of course pass along the unit so that we can generate that information. Then for our next function, unit image button dot activated connect function, close parentheses, enter. So when you click this, this means you're trying to equip a unit, right? So of course we're going to fire the remote event, core event, fire server in quotation marks, equip unit. Then we need to attach the specific unit that you're trying to equip. And then the server will verify, validate, and then continue on from there. So then from here, we're going to skip the two ends, and then we can make the backpack frame visible. So backpack frame dot visible is then set to true, right? And then what should I call it? You said that's a true. And then for our last two functions, go past this end, and then you're gonna set up the close function. So core GUI dot backpack frame dot close text button dot activated connect function close parentheses enter. So when you want to close the backpack frame, so backpack frame dot visible is set to false, right? And then lastly, we're gonna create the function to find a unit image. So function find unit image, and of course we need the specific unit, and then you see all your errors disappeared. Enter. We're gonna use a for loop as per usual. So for I comma v and I pairs. You're going to go through unit images, so get children, enter, then create a variable for the unit is equal to v. You'll just say if unit.name, this is why I said it's important to make sure the names match. If unit.name is equal to, oh, sorry, we're providing the unit name. So if unit.name is equal to unit name, then we will return the specific unit's image. Cool. Now we can move on to the server side. So let's open up the server script. Like I said, we need to update this unit stuff. So the great thing is we already did that on the client side. So we can just go back. You can just copy this, go back, paste it. There you go. Cool. Now we're going to add a whole bunch of new values, like I said, 4 to be exact. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this is rolling value. So just copy that, paste it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're just going to change it. So for our first thing, we're going to have equipped unit 1. This value is going to keep track of your first equipped unit, right? Whatever's in the first slot, I should say. So then just copy paste it. Just make sure you update everything, the name and everything. And then obviously this is going to be a string value. And then by default, you could just set the value to be none. Then this would be parented to the player. Then for the second thing, I'm just going to copy this, paste, 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 Again, string value, make sure this is equipped unit 2. This is going to keep track of your second slot for equipped units. So paste, 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 and quotation marks, none. Again, pair it to player. Then for our third value, for our next two values, we're going to do number values, equipped unit damage, and equipped unit amount and equipped unit damage. So this will be a number value, and this is going to be equipped unit amount. So how many units you currently have equipped, right? So Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, and stuff, right? And then since I have only 2, then you can only have a maximum of 2. Then paste this again, and then by default this number should be set to 0. Then again, parent it to the player, and then for the last one, it's equipped damage amount. So you're just gonna say this is the total damage that the units can do. So equipped, we're just gonna say equipped unit damage. Copy, paste, 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 and then again number value sets value to 0, and then we are good to go. We're done with that. We can move on to the event. So right next to the event type, comma arg1, because we now need to send over information. So this is, by the way, how we fixed the bug I mentioned in the notes and stuff with the glitch. We just need to add a longer delay. So like, let's say if like you're able to roll while like you're still like, let's say you roll, right? You click the roll button, and then as while like the roll is still in progress, you're able to roll again. Then you need to add some more time to this. I chose 7 seconds. Maybe you need a little longer. Maybe you need a little shorter. You guys can play around with that to make sure it works for you. But we're gonna go past this. Enter. We're gonna say else if event type is equal to in quotation marks equip unit. It's going to be our equip unit code. So enter. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a variable for unit. Unit is equal to arg1. Let me scroll down. So first things first, let's just check to make sure that the player does own the unit, right? So that like if an exploiter is just trying to send a unit, they're trying to equip a unit, and then they fire their mode event themselves, and then they just send like some text. Let's make sure the player actually owns the unit. So we'll say if player, oh my bad, if player dot owned units find first child unit dot name enter. Sorry, let's put a not in front of this statement. So if not, so if it's not found, then return, right? Then we need our next if statement. We're gonna say if player dot equipped unit one dot value is equal to none, enter. So if it's equal to none, then we'll update equipped units one's value. So unit one dot value is equal to unit dot name. Else if it's not, then we'll check equipped unit two. Equipped unit 2 dot value, as long as it's equal to none, then we will do the same. Equipped unit 2 dot value is equal to unit dot name, right? And then we will press enter, else we will return. Pretty much that means like the 2 slots are maxed out and stuff. But from there we will proceed, and then if you're able to equip the unit, we will say player that equipped unit amount dot values plus equal 1. It's increased by 1, and then player dot equipped unit damage dot value plus equal find unit. This is a function we're going to create later on. You're going to pass over the unit name, then go on the outside, and you're going to say dot damage, right? Then lastly, you're going to fire their mode event back to the client. So fire client, the specific player, comma, in quotation marks, name of the event is equip unit, of course. Then send over the specific unit, right? And then from there, you're just going to press enter here. Then we need to, of course, make the code. We need to write the code for the when you unequip a unit. So else if event type is equal to unequip unit, enter. We're doing a lot of the same thing, to be honest with you. So what you can really do is you can honestly copy. You could just copy and paste this whole thing. So just copy, paste, right? I mean, I wouldn't see what you would really need to check this, to be frank. I mean, you can leave this. I wouldn't really see what you would need to like. It wouldn't really cause it, but yeah, I guess I'll just leave it just for the sake of verification. But here's where it's going to change. So you're looking to see if the unit name matches, right? So if the unit name matches, then you're going to update it to none, because then that means you want to unequip it. So you're just changing this. You're just flipping this. So unit.name, and then change this to none. And then you're going to go down here, and then instead of incrementing, you're decrementing. You're going down. So just minus, and then yeah, then just go right here, unequip the unit, and then yeah, that's literally it. Then after that, we're going to create a function, and then we're done. We're going to create our function. So function find unit, In parentheses, you're going to put the unit name, so we're passing along, enter, use a for loop, for iv in pairs, our units table, enter, we will create a variable for the unit is equal to v, if unit dot name is equal to unit name, enter, then we will return said unit. And then boom, guys, we are done. Let's go ahead and test to make sure everything works. As always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, just simply read the description to find out how to gain access to that. Okay, so if we roll, you guys see, oh, I don't know what. Oh, my bad, guys. I think I forgot to do something with the, oh, I forgot, hold on. I need to, oh, my bad, guys, I forgot to do something. Okay, go to your roll frame, go to the unit frame, go to unit image label, right? Set the background transparency to 1, right? Because so then it doesn't have that white background. Because you want, you just want to see the images. But yeah, so I'm just gonna roll. As you guys can see, we can see the unit images and stuff. We can see everything. Oh, now that I think about it, I don't know why I left the backgrounds visible because it looks kind of weird. I mean, I'm probably gonna take it off. But anyway, so I have 2 units now, right? As you can see, I'm hovering. Oh, I think I'm getting an error. Okay, we're getting an error. Where unit dot where? See, that is not how you spell rarity. Isn't it like rarity? Yeah, oh, okay, my bad, guys. So spelling error. Spelling error. Yes. Okay. Go right here, right? The local script goes to the view unit info function and make sure you spelled rarity right, because clearly I don't know how to spell. So make sure you don't make the same mistake I did. So I'm just gonna roll. Okay, got 1 unit, and then roll again. Just trying to get another one. I honestly got pretty lucky, no pun intended, that I even got 2 different units on the first 2 tries. Because for some odd reason, I've literally sat here testing, and I continue. Thank you. I continue to get lucky multiple times. Okay, and it's still not working. Phenomenal. Okay, what is going on, bro? Did I not just wait? Am I tripping right now? Unit dot rarity. Am I tripping? Is this not right? Let me see. This is the 70s. Oh my bad. It's supposed to be unit dot value. It is for the rarity, which is supposed to be unit dot value. My bad, guys. Change that to unit dot value. That's my bad. Okay. Now let's roll. Roll again. Okay, and then I'll try rolling. I just want 2 units. I just want to get 2 units. 2 different units, I want to say. Okay, clearly that's not the case. Let's see if it works now. Okay, there we go. Now it's showing, as you guys can see, it's showing the name of the unit as well as the rarity. So we got lucky. Okay, we're just gonna keep rolling until hopefully get another unit that's not lucky. Oh, or we'll just continue to get lucky for the duration of the video. Who knows at this point? Come on. Okay. I don't even know why I keep getting I'm starting to think something is wrong with the thing, because 1 out of 66 is supposed to be the rarest. Okay, we're gonna try this 2 more times. If I don't get it, then we're just gonna hope for the best. Because I need to test. I need to like test to make sure you can only equip 2 units at once. Oh my goodness, I keep getting. Please, please give me. Please, just give me somebody else, please. Thank you. Okay. So as you can see in the background, we can switch between the 2. You notice here how it shows how many of the units you own. Oh, now that I think about it, this should probably have like an X to demonstrate what the 9 stands for. So let's do this. Unit amount, dot 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 quotation mark, just throw an X at the end. So it just represents more like, oh, like, however many units the player owns and stuff, right? Now here's the thing. When you click a unit, right? Boom. You see how it's at the top. We got a little problem though. Clicking this is not a valid member of players. Okay, let's see what that's talking about. Okay, that means there's an issue. Oh, I must have forgotten to do something here. Equipped unit amount. This is equipped equipped units. Oh, my bad. I put a plural S instead of a singular S. This is supposed to be, so at the end here, it's supposed to be just equipped unit damage, not equipped units, just equipped unit. Okay, so just remove those S's. I'm just gonna roll 1 time and then we're just gonna go from there. Stuff, because okay, actually no, I'm good. Because since I got a rare one the first try, I'll probably get lucky the second try, and then I'll have 2 units. Fire. Okay. So if I open up the backpack, okay, right? Much better. Okay. So as you guys can see, there we go. Now I can equip it, right? I can equip and then boom, I can now equip both of them. You see how it says 2 out of 2 equipped. It updates how many, how many units you have equipped, as well as how much damage they do. If you click it, you can unequip them, right? And then you can re-equip them, whatnot, whatever. So you can unequip, re-equip and stuff. So the next part will probably just be focusing on having them like, like seeing them, like walking near your player, following you around, and then like fighting other NPCs and stuff. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the series, definitely leave a like and subscribe. Let me know how much you're enjoying it. Let me know any bugs you guys find, any suggestions you guys want to see, any other videos you guys want to see in general and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.